Hey, Big Booty Scott, is that you? How do you get closer to the baptism? True enough. And then what about after the after the baptism? Do you know what I mean? Like what actions do you take? Hey, Big Booty Scott, you know, Um, one thing, I guess I should do my introduction. I am 3+Kei. I'm your favorite social worker. I'm here to encourage you to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. Simultaneously learning how to play happy birthday for the people that come in here and declare it to be their birthday. So you say I pray sometimes, right? No judgment. What keeps you from praying more? You know what I mean? Cuz I'm kind of in the same boat at the moment. Like I pray sometimes, but not as often as I really know that I should, or even as often as I want to. My physical health is working out and my education, and I watch videos. Good. Hey, Ben. It's Ben. I pray when I feel, but I make sure. And it's like, how do we get to the point where we pray when we don't want to? And so it's a matter of will, really. And maybe I think something that could help with that is like repetition. Like currently, because I wasn't praying, currently I have a window of time set aside every night to pray. And it's just like kind of a season that I'm in right now. I don't feel disconnected from the Lord. I think I just feel disconnected from the act of prayer itself. And so for me, this is a concerning thing because I used to pray all day, every day, and there's something kind of going on with that. But other ways that I get closer to the Lord is I read my Bible. I get in the Word. Sometimes, I'll tell you this, true story. Sometimes I get my Bible and it's an action Bible, so it has commentary. I just flip to a random page and I start reading and meditate on what I'm reading, because ultimately the Lord's sovereign. He knew I was gonna turn to that page anyway. So um I just meditate on it. Another thing I do to get closer to the Lord is be around his people, which can be difficult at times for a number of reasons. Um, and I'm really big into like the concept with eating. It's called intuitive eating. So you eat when you're hungry and then you stop when you're full, and then that's the measurement of how much you should be eating. And so I live my life largely in an intuitive fashion. And so the core of my desire is to be in the Lord's will. So that does drive my intuitive living. You know what I mean? But I say so often, like my whole life, I've just done whatever it is that I wanted to be doing. And as it would turn out, how I turned out, how the Lord turned me out was that I want to be living within the Lord's will. So practices like prayer, or fellowship, whether I'm comfortable with it or not, because I know that's what's best for me, I still make attempts. However few and far between, or however often I'm going to fail at these attempts, specifically with prayer and fellowship, you know, I'm no different than anybody else. I have a sensitivity to just not even mean people, but standoffish people, and so I always have to give the context that I'm a social worker. So it's my job to connect quickly. It's my job to deal with people that sometimes have very difficult personalities and then create a relationship out of that. It's my job. So in my personal time, I choose very intentionally not to be around anyone that is mean or any type of, if I have to like work or apply my social work skills to you in my personal life, I don't want to be around you outside of my inner circle. The issue with that mentality is that the Lord calls us to be in fellowship with other believers who may have prickly personalities or standoffish personalities. And so I get it. And it's something I return to again and again. But fellowshipping with like random people is not really like my vibe in life. I like to go. Have you ever heard like go where you're appreciated, not tolerated? When we get into that building on Sundays, we are sometimes we're tolerating one another, and that's a difficult aspect of fellowship for me. It doesn't make me any better than anybody else or anything. So there's things that I'm a loud person, and I know that is irritating to some people. So it's not me like, oh, I'm this great person and I can't stand other people. For sure, there's people who can't stand me. We're called to be in community with one another regardless of our quirks, and I understand that. All the same, it's a challenge for me. Yeah, I really don't like mean. Not a fan. I met a lady, this was at my church in Florida, and I forgot, I do these questions of the day, and I was asking some type of personality question to people, like, what's your biggest personality flaw or something like that? And she was like, oh, I'm such a blunt person. What's yours? And I was like, I'm a really sensitive person. And so and I'm not, this is wrong. I'm telling you, this is wrong, what I did. But I never talked to her again at church, because if she's blunt and isn't looking to change that, that means inevitably you're going to hurt my feelings, and you're announcing that. So why be around it? That's not the right way to be. I think through fellowship with people that we typically wouldn't be around, that's where sanctification can kind of kick in, right? Like, you got to have grace for that person. A lot of our behaviors, particularly as adults, our behaviors stem from coping mechanisms that we employed when we were children. So I was saying the other day, there's somebody around me that is a snake, and I identified very early that this person is a snake. And I went to therapy today, And my therapist was like, this person probably has something going on in their personal life, and it's translating into their professional life, like the way they cope with something in their personal life. And I was like, yeah. And I told them a little bit about this coworker, something, what they are going through. And my therapist was saying, yeah, exactly. Like, you know, they're being a snake in their professional life because they have to be a snake in their personal life. And I really hate that for that person.
All right. Teacher, here to teach you how to play Happy Birthday. Happy Birthday.
Why does this do this? All right, we're gonna do CG7. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. All right, we got that. Today we're gonna do it.
Happy birthday.
And then G7 and C. G7 and C. So we've got happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Okay, we got that part. I swear the next person. Oh, your boy Joshua. I hope you don't mind me saying it like that, but that's how I read it. Your boy Joshua with like a New York accent. There's this pastor at my church, Pastor Steve, and every time, I don't know why, I was telling him yesterday, I don't know why, I always shout his name out to him, Pastor Steve, like that. The southern drawl just kind of comes out. It's a thing. All right, next one. C7 is this. And then F. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear your boy Joshua. All right, we're almost there.
Happy birthday.
And then C, G7, C. Happy birthday to you. All right. Your boy Joshua. Here we go. From the top. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear your boy Joshua. Happy birthday to you. We learned it. Listen, I never said I was Celine Dion. Okay? Over this way, there were no claims that I'm Anita Baker in the house. All right? One thing we did learn today is how to play Happy Birthday. So the next person that comes on here talking about is my birthday, y'all already know what time it is. And we can properly, from this point forward, we can properly wish people a happy birthday. Okay? And speaking of, just to bring it, I feel, speaking of doing things that bring you closer to God, this kind of stuff, like serving people, like figuring out how to love people well. I was having lunch with a friend She's a traveling physical therapist. And this was in Atlanta. And when I was in Atlanta, I tell the story all the time. I was isolated, felt rejected, the whole thing. And so I was going to this church, and I was leaving like I typically do, and she was there. And the thing is, it was like a black church, and she is like Asian and white. And so I really hate for people to feel alone. I think that's why the Lord put me in that situation, to be isolated and not have any friends, because prior to that, I had never not had friends. And after that, I haven't not really like had friends. And so I think the Lord was like teaching me what that's like for people. But anyway, she was just standing there. And so I was talking to her. I started talking to her. And found out she's a traveling nurse, which is how she ended up at a black church. And she just goes to a church wherever she's stationed. And so she's super cool. But we ended up, actually, I think that day we went to like a medieval fair, and it was the first time I ever saw jousting. I had a really great time, and I think it's what we both needed, really. But at another point, we were at a restaurant, some type of, maybe like a Vietnamese restaurant or something like that. And there were a lot of service members there, a lot of military men, like a lot, like half the restaurant was military men. And so we're doing whatever, we're talking, and a soldier comes up to her, and he's like, thank you. That was really kind. And she's like, oh, yeah. And so like all these service members ended up coming up to her, and they were like, thank you so much. And then finally somebody let it slip, because I was so curious, right? Like, why are they saying this? She had paid for every soldier's meal in the restaurant. Can you imagine? And so I was asking her about that, and she said, since she doesn't belong to a church, she holds her tithes, like she retains 10% of her income for the purpose of charity wherever she's at. So it really wasn't much to her. You know what I mean? Like, she already had the money or whatever, but it was really like the thought of tithing your money instead of to a church, but to the community. And I do that actually to this day. I got that from her, tithing back to the community. But one thing, her name was Madison. Another thing I learned from Madison, besides tithing to the community instead of to the church, was she was like, everybody has a little bit of God in them. Like, God made them in such a special way. So when I'm talking to people, I look for the God in them. And I had never heard anything like that before. Gianni, hey! Gianni, this is the moment. Is everybody ready? Your boy Joshua, get ready. What we just practiced, Gianni, listen, get ready. All right, this is for you. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gianni. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Gianni. Done and done. That happened quicker than I thought. You said slay, even though I'm a guy. That's funny. Gianni's one of the people that had a birthday recently that comes on here. But yeah, so my friend taught me to look for the God in other people. I can say without a doubt I fail at that task. Some people I just don't like, and that's I'm just the deal is I'm an honest Christian, right? I'm not a perfect one. I'm not trying to tell you something that's not real. It's who I am. I'm an honest Christian, and there's definitely people I come across that I don't like. So the approach that I do take is, and I do believe this, everyone that the Lord puts in front of you is there to teach you something. And you are meant to serve them. They teach you, you serve them. That's why the Lord is up there, like, with the little hands and like, okay, Lakeitha and your boy Joshua are going to meet. So then the mission is, for me to pay attention to what your boy Joshua might have to teach me. And my job is to serve him. And so I didn't learn that from Madison, but that's kind of like a derivative of what I learned from her. So how I get closer to people is by serving them intentionally. Another thing, we got to talk about this. Nature. Going out into nature and exploring. I live in Montana, and the particular town I live in, people are always like, why do you live in Montana? And it's like, it's literally like a postcard. In the town I live in, there's mountain ranges in every single 360 degrees. It is so beautiful. On my worst of worst days, I'm in awe of the beauty of where I live. And there's something spectacular when you're up close on a mountain. Have you guys ever been like up, like not on a mountain because you can't really like see it for sure when you're on the mountain, but like if you are 5 minutes away from a mountain range, the sheer like magnificence of a mountain, it's like incredible. It is awe-inspiring. I get close to God by getting up on that mountain. I'm going on a mountain on Tuesday. And I have half a mind to get on Mount Sentinel on Saturday. Gianni, you got a $70 gift card? Let me hold $5, Gianni. Let me get $5 out of your 70. I'm going to buy biscuits from KFC with it. You know what I mean? No, don't give me your money. I want you to keep your money. I was just joking. I want you to... Whoops. I want you to thrive with your money. I know you're only 9, but do you go to church, Gianni? And your boy Joshua, do you go to church? Where do you guys, what's your relationship with God? Happy birthday. I think the next step in me learning happy birthday or playing happy birthday is to be able to hold a key. Joshua, you're 9 too? And yeah, I go to church. I wonder, you know what it is? So the demographics for this channel, the main, like a third of the viewers of this channel are between 25 and 35. And then the next demographic is 35 to 45. But the next demographic after that is under 18. And I think what it is, I have these business cards. I don't have one to show you, but I pass out these business cards. And at some point, I rolled up to my friend's house, and she has 4 kids. And I gave them each $5 and 5 business cards. And on the honor system, I told them, this $5 is yours, but you have to hand these cards out to 5 people. And I think what they did was hand the cards out to their friends. And that's why I have a younger audience coming through. It's cute. I don't mind it at all. It actually makes my whole day. I couldn't hold a tune in a bucket. Ben, when are we starting our band? We should start with happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Anybody, everybody. Happy birthday to you. So good. Sometimes I give my money to the church. So good. My kid, when they, both of them, when they were teenagers, they got $1 per week for whatever age they were. So 14, 15, 16, whatever, that amount. And the way I ran my household with kids was your allowance is based on 3 things. That is your behavior in the home and out the home, behavior, conduct, chores, and homework. So you would get $1 off, and this was by the day. You would get $1 off if those 3 things weren't met. So you could lose up to $3 a day. And so my oldest gave me a run for my money, for sure. So anyway, and you would get your allowance on Sundays. And so one Sunday, I gave my oldest $4 out of the 15 they could have gotten. They had an attitude all week. We don't play that in this household. You keep your attitude to yourself. Anyway, I gave them the $4. And the gas station was right next to the church. And this is a really special story because I was waiting in the car, like, hurry up and get whatever you're getting at the gas station with your $4. And they came out. I'm allergic to nuts, to peanuts. They came out and they gave me like a Twix bar or whatever because they said, because I know you're allergic to nuts. And then the other $2 is for the offering at church. I'll never forget that. And it should be noted, my kids came to me through the foster care system, both of them at 14. And so it was bonding with my oldest specifically. Bonding was like a journey. That didn't happen. That was not like the bond that we have now, 10 years later, 11 years later. That didn't occur for years. And so for this child to hand me a Twix bar after acting up all week, sheesh. Hold on 1 second. Acting up all week, lost all your money. And what they thought to do with it was to get me some candy, and candy that I could eat, and to tithe. My kids are grown now, And I'm going to text my kid that story that I remembered that they did that. I'll never forget it because it was, you didn't have to. I'm the type of person that's like, I appreciate being considered because people, for whatever reason, do not consider me ever. You know what I mean? And it's so rare that somebody goes out of their way for me that I remember it. And it's always like very, 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 very special to me. Yeah. I give $20 to the church. Amen. Praise God. I'm so glad for that. It's nice to have young believers on here. This is the right audience. I was going through, it's time for me to kind of shape up this YouTube channel. It started as a hobby and now it's turning into something more significant. I have 90 more subscribers until I'm at 3,000. And I remember my goal last January was to get 10 subscribers. So it's wild that almost 3,000 people dig the content. And because that's the case, I want to honor that and respect that and take this channel more seriously, which is why I know the demographics and this type of thing. You know? But anyway, I was looking at what I want my target audience to be. And certainly believers, I always say unbelievers always announce their presence on this channel because it comes up as a restricted comment. It's like, oh, you're in the wrong place, buddy. Do you know the rover that was on Mars and his final words? If you don't, I have his final words on my YouTube channel. Can you just tell us? Can you tell us? Let me see. I can't do it. I was trying to, your boy Joshua, I was trying to subscribe to your channel, but I can't. So if you'll do me a favor and like make a comment on this video when it airs, it's going to take like 12 hours for it to upload. But on the uploaded video, comment on it. And I'll subscribe to your channel. He said his battery is getting low. How did he die? And he said it was going to be his time to go. That's wild. The thought that like you would know when your time is up. Do you know what I mean? I have a friend, and unfortunately her mom passed from cancer, but her mom had already gone through one treatment and then it wasn't successful. And then she went through chemotherapy again and it wasn't successful. And at that point they said, okay, we're going to do a third round of chemotherapy. And my friend's mom was like, no, like I've watched my kids grow up and, you know, I think I've done what I came here to do. So I'm not going to pursue chemo radiation or whatever it is for cancer. And she passed away, but she knew it. And I think in that instance, she got to say goodbye. She got to say goodbye. The screen is cracked and I can't see, but I just hope you're listening to my little rhymes that I made for you. Do you likely name now somebody out there that cannot hear my tune? I wish we could do like a split screen, your boy Joshua. I don't know how that works. I think you have to know the person, because I looked into it and it's like you have to, like, I would start this video and then there's like a link to it. There's like a URL. And then I would email the URL to the person that's going to do this split screen with me so that they can come on to my live, is how that works. But I don't know, like Joe, who teaches me how to play ukulele. I don't know how to get him the link. I don't know how to have him give me his email. So he was supposed to live for 90 days, but he lived for 14. Do you like my name? Now look at it. Oh, hey! You know, I was gonna sing another song for you. Happy Birthday is also, wait, Twinkle. Oh no, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the ABC song are the same. Ah, shoot. StreamYard or Restream offer free group streaming. Is that YouTube based? I don't want to like add things that I don't want to learn more, because I already have to learn YouTube. And after that, I have to learn TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn. There's Twitch. I considered starting like that type of live streaming. But again, it's just one more thing for me to have to learn. And I'll tell you, Ben, one thing you can pray for me for, I decided I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 on December 31st. And there's some wiggle room because when I started working where I work again, I told that supervisor that I wouldn't leave her. I would give her 6 months notice if I could. So I would like put in my notice on the 31st and then wait for them to find my replacement and then go. And then I'll have time to pursue all that type of stuff. But until then, I've been on other streams, but never hosted through those services. Yeah. And everyone is different. It's kind of like Apple or iPhones and Androids. Do you want to see my face? Yeah, put your face on there. Do it. It's like the difference between iPhones and Androids. It's like if you have an Android, there's nothing appealing to me about getting an iPhone because I completely understand that I'm going to have to learn a completely new interface. And then it's like, for what reason? Just to say I have an iPhone and get charged all the time? People with iPhones are always talking about how Apple is always charging them randomly. Why would you want that for yourself? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ben. Happy birthday to you. I am pleased with myself. And now I'm wondering if there's another song that has the same tune. Let's see. Are we doing this in the picture? It's very tiny because I'm on my phone. All right, your boy Joshua. I love that. You should keep that. You should keep that. I actually don't even respond to, well, maybe. Sometimes, most of the time I don't respond to comments that don't have profile pictures on them because they could just be trolls. Oh, there you are. You're so cute. You're just a little guy. Look at you. You did that quick. That's my face. It's a good one. I have an appreciation for you, Joshua. I gotta get going. It's almost time for a little prayer. I need to eat some broccoli. Fill my belly up. All right. Hopefully I see you tomorrow, Joshua. Oh, your boy Joshua. Hopefully I see you tomorrow. But at any rate, I'm 3PlusKei, and I will talk to you guys later.